وبركاته. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. All praise is due to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Peace and blessings be upon the messenger of Allah. It's a very, very popular argument against Islam that people say the punishment in Islam is very harsh. For example, the punishment of stoning somebody to death. Somebody who commits adultery, for example. Stoning this person to death. Okay, so let's discuss this argument and the way to answer it in Islam. The first thing that you should say as a counter argument, if you're Muslim, then the first thing you say if you're having a discussion with a disbeliever who is against the punishment of adultery. Adultery first means to have marital relations with someone that you're not married to while you're married. To have marital relations with someone that you're not married to while you're married. So if you're not married, it's not called adultery, it's called fornication. And there is a difference in punishment in Islam. But we'll talk about the worst punishment, which is this punishment for adultery. Okay? So let's discuss this. If you're having an argument with a disbeliever and they say that the punishment is very severe, the first thing I want to tell this person is, first of all, you have to understand that punishments are deterrents. Meaning, I am not inviting you to commit adultery so that I can stone you to death. I am telling you this is the punishment. If you don't want the punishment, you simply don't commit the crime. So, my question to the disbeliever is, would you like to cheat on your spouse? Would you like to do that? Are you trying to have the system so free that allows you to cheat on your spouse without anybody knowing or punishing you or holding you accountable? And the disbeliever will usually say, yeah, no, of course I don't want to cheat on my wife. Of course I don't want to cheat on my husband, but I just think it's very, very barbaric. Tell them, okay, if you don't want to cheat, then you should not worry about this punishment at all. If you don't want to cheat on anybody, this punishment will never come near you at all. This is the first counter argument. The second counter argument is this. In Islam, we are closing the way towards adultery even before it starts. Imagine this. Women cover themselves, so you're not going to be able to look at a different woman and see from that different woman something that will tempt you. This is number one. Number two, you are supposed to lower your gaze from other people. So even if there's a woman who's not covering herself, you're supposed to remember God and lower your gaze. Number three, you're not supposed to touch a woman that is not yours. Look how many doors God has closed in front of you so that you don't commit adultery. That's not it. When you touch a woman, there are levels of that touching. So, shaking somebody's hand, and this is not even something that Islam that is new to God, or God did not invent this new. This is something that comes from the Torah, and even scriptures even scriptures before the Quran, like the Torah, they had this punishment of stoning an adulterer to death. Okay, so the Islam closes the doors in front of you so that you don't fall a victim to this sin. Okay, so this is the second argument. The third and the most destructive argument to the disbeliever is this. You ask him a question, you say, for example, in the United States, how many people die every year as a direct result of what is called the love triangle? Meaning, two people are married or in a committed relationship, one of them cheats on the other one, and somebody finds out, and all of a sudden we have a love triangle, and one of these people died. You know that in the United States alone, over 800 people die as a direct result of the love triangle. This is the FBI statistics. In the United States alone, over 800 people die every year as a result of cheating. Now, this is not including the families that are broken the children that end up growing up and commit suicide because one of their parents killed the other one. This is not including any by or any side crime that is related remotely to adultery. I'm talking about the very direct result only. And it's over 800 cases of death every year because of that. Now, in 23 years, that number becomes 800 times 23, which is, we're talking 16,000 plus another 2,400, so we're talking 18,400. Let's say 18,000. Let's say 18,000 cases of death or murder or homicide related to adultery in 23 years. Now imagine this. Under Sharia law, during the time of Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam, one case of adultery has been recorded. One case of punishment because of adultery. 23 years, nobody had the guts to commit adultery. And even if they did, it was probably maybe 10 cases max. In 23 years. And this is the Prophet's life alone. So one case is recorded, and if people say, oh, well, there were other adultery, but it wasn't recorded, it doesn't matter. Whatever is recorded we go by what's recorded, and what's recorded is one case, one couple, 23 years. Even if you can't have so many cases that went unnoticed. This is not the truth, because the system of recording incidents in Islam is very, very, very thorough and very detailed. So we have, in 23 years, we have one case. 2 people in 23 years versus 18,000 people, in addition to all the broken families. So which system preserves life? Which system preserves dignity? Islam preserves life. Islam preserves dignity. These statistics will lead any sane and reasonable person to say one thing: Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammad Rasulullah. Because this is the religion of truth. I testify there is no other God but Allah, and that Muhammad is the messenger of Allah. Let's take another punishment, for example. But I'm gonna make a separate video about the other punishment. Actually, this video is sufficient for the punishment of stoning an adulterer to death. It will save all the times being spent in courts, all the money that is being spent to defend people against murder that happened because of adultery, all the families that are broken, all the children that grow up knowing that one of their parents killed the other one, all the neighbors, all the family members, all the friends, the entire system with all the laws involved in the United States in the last 276 years of independence was not able to save 18,500 people. However, Prophet Muhammad ﷺ in 23 years saved 18,500 people. So, after seeing this video, I urge you to testify there is no other God but Allah, and that Muhammad is the messenger of Allah. Jazakumullahu khairan ala husni istimaikum. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward you generously. وسبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.